Hi guys, my name is Blake. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you my Black Friday book haul. I have quite a few books here to show you. I got most of these from my used bookstore. They are all fantasy. That is predominantly what I read. But I acquired most of these with store credit. My local used bookstore is really great. They have this thing where you can bring books in and you can get trade-in credit, and they are very, very generous with the store credit that they give me. And I got most of these books for free, and I'm going to break it up into adult fantasy and YA fantasy. Full disclaimer, I do not know very many things about most of these. The first book I have is The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. This is the second book in the Dandelion Dynasty. I have the first one on ebook, I think. But I've heard mixed things about the series, so I am a little hesitant going in. But I kind of wanted to read it for myself because it seems like it has a lot of elements that I would enjoy. The next book I have is Blackwing by Ed McDonald, and I picked this up because Alan from the Library of Alexandria recommended it. I think this is the fourth or fifth time I have picked up something that Alan has recommended. At this point, I pretty much just buy whatever he tells me. And I think this is a really unusual setup. I think it's very dark fantasy. It's kind of post-apocalyptic, and it has steampunk elements too, I want to say, and we are following a bounty hunter. I'm not crazy about post-apocalyptic or dystopian normally, but I have faith in Alan's recommendations, so when he was talking about it in his review, it seemed like something that I would enjoy. Up next, I have Ruin and Wrath by John Gwynne. These are the third and fourth books in the Faithful and the Fallen series. And I read the first book, Malice, earlier this year and enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to continuing on. Now that I have the full quartet, I can just binge through them. Up next, I have Blood Ties by Pamela Freeman. This is an Orbit book, which I have never heard of it, but it came out in 2007. It was for $1 at my bookstore, so I just thought I would pick it up. I know that it has ghosts, and there is a kingdom divided. And we're following multiple characters. And it seems to have some type of elemental magic system. Riftwalker, which is the second book in the Vampire Empire by Clay and Susan Griffith. I have the first book, and it's about this world where vampires have taken over. I think it's set in like a steampunk Victorian setting, and we are following a vampire hunter, and he has to escort this princess. Ever since I read Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff this year, I enjoyed that, and I have been kind of wanting some more vampire books with creepy vampires, so I'm hoping that fits the bill. The Devil's Looking Glass by Mark Chadbourne. This is the third book in the Swords of Albion. It takes place in the 1500s in Queen Elizabeth's court, and it is a spy novel, but with a supernatural twist. I don't know anything about this other than that, really. I only saw the tagline, and I have the first two books, and I've never heard anyone talk about it. Up next, I have The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. Heir of Seven Waters by Juliette Marillier. Don't look at that sticker. I own so many Juliette Marillier books now, and I haven't read anything by her, but I really need to. I really want to, because I think I would enjoy them from everything that I've heard. Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. This was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, but then I saw kind of the reviews come in, and it seemed to have kind of some mixed reviews. And Leanna from Leanna's Library really did not like this one. So I was a little hesitant to pick it up once I purchased it. But it is an Arthurian retelling, and I do love King Arthur stories. Up next, I have Academ's Fury, Cursor's Fury by Jim Butcher. These are the second, third, and third books in the Codex Alera series. For the rest of this video, I don't know what most of these books are about, so I'm just going to roll through these pretty quickly. This Cruel Design by Emily Suveda. I picked up the first book, This Mortal Coil, last year. Jade from Bedtime Bookworms enjoyed the series. The next book I have is The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. Now getting into my YA section, I have another King Arthur story, and that's Camelot Burning by Catherine Rose. And I got this for $2 at the used bookstore, and it's signed. How cool is that? I've never heard anyone talk about this. I think it's an older YA book. It says it came out in 2014. I have The Wicked King by Holly Black. I read The Cruel Prince this year and really enjoyed it. The Scarecrow Queen by Melinda Salisbury. And this is the third book in this trilogy. I had a friend who recommended them to me on Bookstagram. The Heart Forager by Ren Chupico. I have another King Arthur retelling with The Forever King by Molly Cochran and Warren Murphy. And this is a modern day King Arthur story. The main character that we're following is Tin. We're also following a cop, and we're following someone in an insane asylum. And they have a connection to King Arthur. This book came out in 1992 and was published by Tor, and I think that's really interesting. The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. I read his Sabriel books when I was a kid, and I enjoyed them. I don't know anything about this one. I haven't really seen anyone talk about it. Up next, I have Ashen Quill and The Sword and Pin by Rachel Kane. These are part of the Great Library series. I know there are quite a few books in this series, and I own the first one, and I've been slowly trying to collect the rest. The next book I have is We Are the Fire by Sam Taylor. This is another book that came out this year. It is a darker fantasy novel, and we are following our two main characters, and they are in a fire army. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't heard very many people talk about this. I think on Goodreads it has some pretty mixed reviews. But when I was reading the synopsis, I was getting major Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. I don't know if that's what it's really like, but that's just the feeling I was getting. Up next, I have Echo North by Joanna Ruth Meyer. And this is a fairy tale retelling of sorts. I saw someone on Bookstagram talking about this, and she said it was one of her favorite reads of the year, and she was talking about it. And I thought that it sounded good. Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this is an Owl Crate exclusive, and it is signed. Endless Water, Starless Sky by Rosamund Hodge. This is the sequel in a duology where we are following kind of a Romeo and Juliet retelling, except there is necromancy. I have to be honest, I don't normally like Romeo and Juliet retellings. I don't like Romeo and Juliet. But Rosamund Hodge wrote the Cruel Beauty book, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it was very dark, very morbid, and I really loved it, so I wanted to pick up her other works. Following the Romeo and Juliet retellings, I have These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling that's taking place in 1920s Shanghai, I believe, and there is a sickness that is breaking out, and there are like rival gangs. If there was ever a Romeo and Juliet that I thought I would really enjoy, it's this one. So I am excited to pick this up. And lastly, I have Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. And this is an Illumicrate edition. It is also signed. And I've heard a lot of good things about this one. It is about this girl who is a witch doctor, and she doesn't have any magic. And she makes a deal with this entity to gain magic, but in order to get this magic, she has to give up part of her life or something, and that sounds really intriguing. Also, this edition is gorgeous. I love the little end paper snake, and the cover too. Those are all of the books that I have acquired recently. Let me know if you have read any of these, if you liked them, if you didn't like them, if there are any that I should bump up my TBR. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye!